Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, issue number 3 of 5. Why don't I have the physical comic in my hands? Go back and look at my Death of the Inhumans number 1 review to know why. Anyway, that story aside, holy crap, is it possible that this could be one of Mark Waid's best stories? Again, I know a lot of people want to try and compare everything that he does with his magnum opus, oh my God, Kingdom Come. There we go. The DC story Kingdom Come. No, you can't. I mean, you can. Of course you can. Who am I to say you can't? But that he doesn't. Mark Waid is the kind of guy, he doesn't usually go back to the same well. You know what I'm saying? So he's not trying to make another story like that. He's trying to do a whole bunch of different stories. And this is a very different story. And he gets a lot of really great scientific concepts down, but more than that, he brings it into a fantasy aspect that I never thought of before. Mark Waid has them become akin to quantum elements. So now they're multiplying all over the place, all right? Like they talked about cellular mitosis earlier, and now they've multiplied and become exactly the number of, so infinite, right? A quantum molecule has the capability of existing in all of its possible forms. All of its possible forms. So if something is extremely limited and it only has 100 possible forms, then there will be 100 of them. No more, no less. A quantum particle will exist in all of its possible forms at the same time. So that's what Nadia basically does. It seems infinite. It's nearly infinite. Might as well be infinite. But by doing that, all of her possibilities, that means that she's actually, so this is that's the science. Here's the fantasy aspect, which is brilliant. She says at one point, I can see all possible realities at this point, because she's seeing it from multiple different aspects. So here's a Nadia where she's smarter than she normally is, which is, sick, because she's already really smart. Here's a Nadia who decided to, specialize in something other than PIM particles. Say she decided to study biochemistry instead. Here's a Nadia who's able to, I don't know, phase as opposed to shrink and grow. So there's all these different Nadias and multiple different perspectives. Therefore, she's able to understand how to get out of the situation that they're in. That is damned genius, if ever I've seen it. That is a great, brilliant idea. I love that. I cannot express how much I love that concept. So by the end, she's able to get out, and the freaky scientist guy who he writes notes in a little scribble pad. Looks like something that Steve used to use back in Blue's Clues. Yeah, Joe too, but everybody likes Steve more, right? I like Joe too. Anyway, the point is, he scribbled little Blue's Clues in his freaking notepad with stick figures. Oh my God, that is just perfect. But yeah, by the end, it looks like what the frick is his name? The Lang. It looks like Lang has wound up. What did he do? It looks like he became a negative version of himself. You know what I'm saying? So everything that he does, it's perfectly backwards, and he looks like he's like, if you shoot a negative, then you have all the colors perfectly inverted, and it's crazy. So I don't know what they're gonna do there. I don't know what Wade's doing there, but this is such a great comic book, man. There was a part in here where Scott Lang is trying to summon ants, and he thinks that these things over there are ants, so he starts summoning them, and they just ignore him. And then this guy comes up behind him, like taps him on the shoulder. He's like, what the frick? And it's like, hi, I don't know you, but I have this strange compulsion to follow you. Are you an ant god by chance? It's like, whoa, what? And all these other ants show up too. It's like, hey, are you an ant god? He's like, and he remembers the cardinal rule of the Ghostbusters. If somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes. So he's like, yeah? And these guys are like those green three-eyed aliens in the crane machine in the original Toy Story movie. Oh my God, this was so funny. I got up and I had to walk away for a couple of moments. Like, this was, oh my God, this was just so good. I got up and actually had to walk away for a little while. I walked around the comic book store, after I read this part because it was just too freaking funny. I came back to it, and Scott decides to try this trick through a universal translator in Nadia's helmet to get. He should be able to do that too. He should be able to speak to people with his helmet, even though he's shrunk. But regardless, he tries to speak to this one guy, and this guy, instead of thinking that he's like, I am the divine ant god and blah blah blah, and the guy turns and looks like, oh wow, ooh, something sciencey. Hey, are you? And he starts tapping on the helmet and all this. Are you in there? Are you using a universal translator and all this other stuff? So like, fine, I'm not an ant god. And all the ants that are around him in perfect synchrony, like, aww. I almost had to get up and walk away again. That damn funny. Wow, this is great. Guys, the art, Javier Garen, Israel Silver doing the color, Joe Caramonga doing from VC doing the lettering, and the cover art, David Nakayama. Dude, I love the cover. This is a great cover. This is beautiful. Probably the best one that Nadia Pym has ever actually been involved in thus far. Really good. I love this comic book. Everything about this comic book was great. You're going to laugh. You're going to learn a little bit of science, I imagine. And a very imaginative, fun story. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.